9 FM KGPJ of the beautiful city of Grand Prairie. Radio by the grace of God 92.9 FM KGPJ of the beautiful city of Grand Prairie. Radio by the grace of God 92.9 FM KGPJ of the beautiful city of Grand Prairie. Radio by the grace of God 92.9 FM KGPJ of the beautiful city of Grand Prairie. Radio by the grace of God 92.9 FM KGPJ of the beautiful city of Grand Prairie. Radio by the grace of God 92.9 FM KGPJ of the beautiful city of Grand Prairie.
Come on in.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Happy Monday.
Hey, y'all, welcome to the show. Thank y'all so much for being here. We are here for another fabulous time. Man, I'm telling you, I'm excited to be here. Doing something a little different tonight. I know we've been talking about the 42 financial independence laws for the Christian.
You're ecstatic? Yeah, me too. Hold on, y'all. We having a few technical difficulties this evening. Hey, y'all, come on in.
All right, we'll keep pushing.
I can hear myself.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think so.
Yeah, we're doing something a little different tonight. We're going to talk about, since you know February is Black History Month.
It is.
Contesting
Black
also.
History Month.
Also the month where we talk about love.
The month of love. It's Valentine's
Day this month. So I pulled out of one of my old books called The Last Love Letter.
Oh, a classic.
A classic.
A classic.
Written by the great Bill Arender.
Yes, sir.
Talking
Shout
about.
out to Coach.
Yeah, talking about the emotional reality of life. Man, it's a line at the bottom, y'all. I think me and you had this discussion. You got mad at me that time, remember?
When?
It says you can have life insurance without love, but you cannot have love without life insurance.
Absolutely.
Life insurance is a proof or a contract to show that you are loved, that you love your family as a man, as a wife, and your kids are taken care of. So the love letter, insurance is another way to make that happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let's open with a word of prayer. Father God, we come this morning to say thank you for this time. Thank you for allowing us to be here. God, asking you to open our hearts and minds to be receptive to this your word. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I'm your host, Keenan Tennyson. This is my co-host, Contessa Childs. We're here to talk about this last love letter. And literally, when Valentine's come, or even when you're in the military or you're in college or whatever the case may be, when you have a significant other, you wrote letters.
Right.
Did you ever write letters to your?
We wrote letters in school.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, we didn't have technology. I think we finally graduated to beepers and then eventually cell phones. But we would write letters and pass them to each other in the hallways.
Right. And what were you saying?
Late at night. I mean, you said it was a whole style to writing a letter. You put your mood and what song you was listening to. I want to drop you a line, and we would drop. We did all kind of stuff. Wrote hearts on the letter, folded up the letter, put the little flap on the inside so you can pull it up and open it, and pass it during class when we wasn't supposed to.
And they were
we wrote letters. We absolutely
tell them how
letters.
you were feeling at the time and what you were thinking about, right?
Right. You said what you couldn't say. It was like a open line of communication. I mean, I remember being in the Army. Mail day is big because that's the only, I don't want to say the only, but while you were in basic training, that would be the only way that you could communicate with people was through a letter.
Right.
Or think about it, for those of us who've had someone to pass away, when you go back, if you have a letter or something they wrote you or something, a card, it's like a keepsake, like a memory, because it's something that actually came from them.
Right.
So it's a keepsake. It's sacred.
So
I have letters to this day.
I
still have letters that people wrote me, guys, friends, cards that I've gotten, letters that I wrote to people when got back when we broke up.
You took your letters back when you broke up?
They gave them back. However it might have happened. But I absolutely have letters and love notes that I've wrote to people and that people have wrote to me.
Man, and then I don't know when guys, when we were, we would write letters. Hey, I like you. Do you like me? Check yes or no.
Right.
They check yes. You remember how it was. And then, God forbid, somebody said no.
Right.
How many people are crushed?
Because somebody checked the no box.
Because they checked the no box and they were 9, 10, 11 years old, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then, like you said, the love letters are good because when you're having a bad day, you can go and pick up a letter and read it.
The movie that comes to my mind is The Color Purple.
Okay.
Which, if you know me, that's one of my favorite movies, by the way.
Uh-huh.
But The part, remember where Miss Silly went upstairs and she was looking for the letters from Nettie?
Right.
And she saw the spider come out the crack on the floor and she lifted up the thing and she found all of the letters.
Right.
And for like the next however many, she got caught reading the letters because she was just so engulfed. Letters take you back to that moment in time.
Right. And you know, also another classic on letters is the Notebook.
Yeah.
You remember when the little girl, what was her name?
Abby?
Abby she was rich.
No, Allie.
Allie was rich.
Allie was her name.
And what was the boy name? Man, I forgot his name. Anyway, he was he worked at the mill.
Mm-hmm.
Met Allie. She was very
Ryan? Was it?
I don't know. Don't give me that.
I don't even know.
But anyway, when the parents thought that he was not good for her,
right,
and they ended vacation
the
early.
Summer,
the summer vacation they ended early, and she left. And he wrote
her letter.
A letter every day for
For
365 days.
Right, and she never responded.
And the mother kept them from her because she didn't want the girl to be with him or to realize that he liked her.
Right.
And when she was about to get married, she saw him in a picture, came back home, and the first thing she asked, why didn't you write me?
Right, and he said, I did.
He said, I did. I have been writing you. I wrote you every day for a year.
Right.
And then on the after the first year, I wrote you a letter and say, you know what? I'll leave you alone.
Right, because he thought she was not responding.
But then here's what's a trip about that contestant in the Notebook. When she went to see him, she didn't know who to pick between her fiance or the dude. And she started reading the letters.
Right.
And remember she almost ran off the road?
Right. And she wrecked out.
And like you said, it took her back
to that moment
in time when she loved him
and
dearly.
Reminded her how much in love she was with him.
And at the end of the day, because he did write the letter, she thought he didn't care anymore.
Right.
She thought nothing mattered. But what she found out, that he genuinely loved her, still loved her, and wrote for you to tell her she loved her. He tried to move on because he thought she didn't care anymore.
Right.
Didn't respond to not one letter.
Right.
So love letters are crucial. And I'm going to tell you ladies, guys love love letters. Guys love cards. Guys love flowers. Sticky notes. We love all that stuff. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. I don't care how rough we are. We want to be sent letters and
y'all
cards.
Want a note in the lunch bag.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. You know, just
wake up and put sticky notes on the mirror.
Yeah, just to let you know, just to let us know you care, that you see.
On the refrigerator.
Yeah, you know, because that stuff, you know, chivalry is not dead.
Absolutely.
And but there's one letter, y'all.
The last
love letter is a life insurance policy. See, because
let's tell them why. It's
when that loved one is gone, and they check that account,
right?
They know you love them because they can do some stuff now.
Right.
Listen, we coming here. That's static is bad. It says the unfortunate loss of one's spouse to death is a tragedy beyond words. It's unthinkable.
Right.
I can only imagine what people go through when they've lost a loved one, a spouse. I don't know what that is. I've watched them go ahead. I don't know, y'all. If y'all hear that static, just overlook it. We're gonna keep pushing. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that feels like. But talking to those, there are some people, y'all,
right,
that never bounce back from that person passing.
Right. We just think about loss, period. The loss of a mom, I could not imagine. I still have mine, thank God. The loss of a father, a sister, a brother, a grandmother. Those are all close people. You know, a lot of people are never truly the same after loss.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? This book is amazing because it's talking about just helping you understand how serious the life insurance is. It's actually the last love letter you'll get from a loved one, especially a spouse. It says, few people realize that there are two deaths when a person dies. The first is the physical death.
Right.
The second is the unanticipated and the shocking financial debt.
Right.
When your client has a money issue, it makes everything else in his or her life an issue.
Right.
So when there's not any insurance and there's not enough coverage and someone dies, it's an issue.
Immediately.
And most listen, I done been to wakes, man, and they shaking hands and crying and looking, but taking the 8-piece chicken to the back and all that kind of stuff. But when we show up with the check, oh my God, when we show up with the check, they bypass those people.
Right.
They come and find us because they know their life is going to be okay now.
Right.
Listen, they know, hey man, this is cool. I'm going to miss him, but I'm okay.
It's what we call double grief. So when you lose somebody, it's hard, it's tragic. And I have had friends and loved ones and people close to me that when the person dies, because there was no insurance and they had to raise money to bury the loved one, now they're double sad or maybe even mad because now I can't even stop to be sad and grieve about you because I have to figure out a way to bury you, which i.e. GoFundMe.
Right.
Which is very big in our neighborhoods, very big. Most people assume because of the lack of education and knowledge that GoFundMe is not life insurance, people.
Yeah.
GoFundMe is not life insurance.
And then what happens, I've seen it happen when that person dies and that family doesn't have it, the first thing they say, that person didn't love them.
Yeah.
Because they left them with the struggle of even putting them on. You know what? I go a step further. That person didn't even love themselves.
Right.
Because they wouldn't even take the time out to put some coverage on them so their family don't have to go through that.
Right.
Are you with me? I did a meeting one time with a preacher friend of mine and I tried to put some issues on. He said, "Hey Doc, let me get back with you." Well, we never got back together. He died.
It happens.
Contessa, he died.
People die uncovered
with 13 kids
in these streets all the time.
The pastor died with 13 kids, no coverage.
Right.
And they took up an offering in the funeral. Well, because I knocked on his door, when they took up the offering, I went outside and made a phone call to book me an appointment. I didn't put $1 in there. Not $1.
But most people do it. Most people have to because otherwise you can't get them buried.
Well, they won't get buried.
Well, no, they just won't get your dollar.
Yeah, they won't get my dollar.
Because the family has to get it done, is my point. You
Yeah.
leave the strain on the family.
Yeah.
And then people do have that attitude, so it's even harder.
Yeah.
It's not my responsibility to help you. No, let's just be real.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not our responsibility.
But the bottom line is they still have to get that person put away. That's the bottom line. Like whether it's cremation or whether it's a funeral or however you decide to do it, that has to happen.
I've heard people say they'll figure it out.
And most people do and some don't.
Yeah. And
What if you don't raise the money? There have been people that haven't.
let me tell you something. I'm not, knocking people. I had an uncle that died. Excuse me. This is when I was young. And he had no money. They didn't have no. They were short.
Right.
Over there in $5. Right off of what is that? Hervey. Anyway, right off about 175. That man said, "I'm gonna put this body on the slab." No, he put it
On ice.
No, it was
Like wood.
He had wood behind his neck. He had like a board, like when you working on somebody, it's like a big old sheet. His body was on it with his suit on,
Right.
like he's supposed to be in the casket.
Right.
We was at the wake. He said, "We not going no further
Well,
until we get our money."
Well, here's what you understand, because the funeral home industry is a business too.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, although you're sad and you're grieving, they have money to make. It's a business. That sounds very hard and very crucial when you're in that moment, but at the bottom line, that's the case. And so you leave your family stuck out in that way. But true to who we are and what we do. It comes from the lack of education and knowledge. And when you know better, you do better.
Absolutely.
And so anybody that depends on everybody that has somebody, if you have children, if you have spouse, if you have a grandkids, if it's just you yourself. You may not have any family. I don't have any siblings. I don't have any kids. I'm not married. Well, here's the truth. When you pass away, somebody has to bury you. So, with that being said, you want to leave the proper funds for them to be able to do so.
Absolutely.
So, all of us, single, married, kids, no kids, healthy, unhealthy, we all need life insurance.
Absolutely. And then, like I tell you, we can even do, let me give you a quote on an extra $150,000 worth of coverage. Extra. I don't care what you have, you always need a little extra.
Right.
For a 35-year-old non-smoker, 20 years, we can put $150,000 worth of coverage on you for 83 cents a day.
Oh, yeah. The younger you are, the cheaper it is.
83 cents a day will cover you with an extra $150,000 worth of coverage if you're 35 years old, non-tobacco, 20-year term. And that $150,000 you don't think is much, but it goes a long way.
Right.
Because we had a client, I'm gonna keep saying it. She called me on a Sunday. We wrote it on a Sunday. Got it issued by Wednesday. She signed on Thursday. Went out of town and he died Sunday.
Right.
Of the same week.
Right.
And they made $73.56 payment, and we paid her six-figure check.
Absolutely, we do.
To help her family. Now let me tell you, she praised God for him because that was her last love letter.
Right.
Well, let me tell you what she did. She paid her rent up for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
Paid all her bills up for about a year.
Right.
Put her kids and herself in counseling.
Right. To recover from the accident.
And part of the counseling was to go back to the place where he died.
Okay.
Which was on the beach. So they took him back to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
She took time off to heal. Watch this. So that when she went back to work, she was fine.
Let's talk about that, because most of us, because we don't have enough insurance or just enough insurance to bury them, we are not. I mean, grief is a process, and most of you know. I mean, it hits you hard. After you just bury somebody, I don't care who it is, you don't want to go to work the next day, the next week. For some of us, because depression and all of those kind of things are real, the next month, the next year, because you need time to readjust your life to whatever it is that you need time to do. But most of us, we bury somebody that Friday or Saturday, and we have to go back to work Monday or that next Monday, a week, maybe two, and then we're not able to fully grieve because we got to go back to work because we need money because you didn't have life insurance.
Because it's two deaths, remember?
Right. It's the death of the person and the death of the income.
Wow.
That's a death for sure, because most households, even your household, if it's set up, you include that person's income. If you're a parent, your children depend on you to take care of them. And once that loss happens, here's just the truth. It takes money to replace you and the things that you or your kids may need.
You got to have a whole lot of money to replace.
I mean, you have house. Well, bless your heart. I mean, but that's how you and any family where he's the breadwinner, the provider. If you make it happen for your family, they need you.
They need that money, man.
They need that money because they have to adjust their life when that money no longer is coming in.
Read that right there. The last love letter.
It says the last love letter is a private, personal, and hidden letter that a loving spouse or committed and dedicated parent writes. It is realized in the form of a death claim proceeds check. It is a symbol of an enduring stream of emotion that keeps giving from beyond the grave.
Wow.
It is your client's love letter. No, is your client's love letter written?
Wow.
What does it say or express to his or her beloved partner or dependent children?
And listen, in our neighborhoods, they come in and they ask us how much can we pay.
Right. What can we afford?
We say $30. They give us $10,000 worth of insurance. And it costs more than that to put you away properly.
Right.
So they're coming to our neighborhood offering us just enough
to get you in the ground.
To sink.
And also they're coming in our neighborhoods and they're just selling us something. They're not educating us. They're not teaching us what we're getting. Most people hear the word life insurance. Life insurance is income protection.
There it is.
So if you have income, you want to protect it. But if nobody ever told you that, most of us think, oh, I just need to be able to bury him. And let me help you, by the way, even with that. Burial is not cheap, people. It costs about a good $15,000 to $18,000 to put somebody away properly. I mean, on the low end, if you just wanted to do a cremation, it's $5,000, $6,000, anywhere between $5,000 and $8,000.
Right.
So the point is, you need at least enough money to do that.
Man, that's something else. You're so right. I got this page that we can skip around called Insurance Facts.
Okay.
It's
I
not.
mean, and we read some of those facts. A lot of people probably don't even know.
This goes to what you were talking about. The final and continuing expense that must be paid.
Right.
Burial is between $7,000 and $10,000 up to $20,000. You just said that.
Right. Debt that they leave behind.
Average is $10,902 or more.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Income replacements 8 times your annual salary. So watch this. For those of you that are watching, if you would, pull out a piece of paper. I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to help you calculate how much you need to have for insurance. It's going to be very simple.
Right.
It's going to be very simple. If you got the piece of paper, put a D up there. The D stands for debt and death. Put an I up there. The I stands for income. Put an M up there. The N stands for mortgage. And put an E up there. The E stands for education or extra. Okay?
Right.
Watch this. If you're married, put an H for him. Put a him and a her. Right? If you had to write a check to pay off all your debt,
right,
how much would it be?
Student loans,
credit cards, car notes,
right,
payday loans, all that stuff.
Any kind of debt.
Whatever it would cost you to pay all that off, not your mortgage. We're going to get to that one in a minute.
Right.
Let's just say it's $80,000. That's
for the sake of the example.
For the sake of the example. You know, you got 2 car notes. You've been to college. You got about $50,000 worth of, or $25,000 worth of student loans, all that kind of stuff. Then let's put about $15,000 to put you away properly. And you put husband and wife if they're married, because their debt combined is the debt that the family's going to be responsible for.
Right.
And they get to the point now that if you have parents that have debt, they coming after the kids to get their money.
Right.
Income. Let's say you make $5,000 a month. Whatever that number is, put that number down. Gross. $5,000 a month, add 2 zeros. If I'm making $5,000 a month, I need $500,000 worth of income replacement.
Right.
Wow. My wife makes.
That's to replace your income
if you're married,
annually.
Right. Your a month, but they give them that 2 zeros give you that money to give you money a month for about 10 years.
Right.
If you're married, as you said, $4,000, so that's $400,000. See, they come to our neighborhood and offer us $10,000. You got $80,000 worth of debt.
Right.
You got $15,000 worth of funeral expenses. You need $500,000 in income protection.
Right.
Oh, don't mention how we buy these big old houses. Let's say your house costs $200,000 to pay off. Well, whatever that is, put that number there.
Okay.
Whatever it costs to pay your house off. If you have young kids and they're young, you're going to spend about $30,000 a year on the community college, a semester. So you're talking about $50,000 a year. That's 4 years. That's another $200,000.
If you want the kids to go to college.
That's if you got one.
Right. So if you have 2 or 3 times that number times 2 or 3 or 4.
Come on, man. So
however many children you have.
you take this example that we did. I'm just making these numbers.
Right.
That's 700, 900. That's $1,080,000.
To maintain the life that you would leave behind.
Right.
So that's to pay off all of your debt, to pay off your house, for your kids to go to school, for life to keep going as you need it to. So most of us want to keep going on as if our spouse was still there.
Right.
If the husband or the wife is still there.
Right.
So you can't replace the person, but you have to replace the income that they were bringing.
Hallelujah.
And you want to do it for the next, I don't know, you don't want it to run out in 6 months.
10 to 15
you want it to
years.
do for the next,
Say
10 years, 15 years, at least to the kids. get 18.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ideally would be forever, but we all know that's not the case. But the more money you save, the more money you can.
So this husband and wife in this example needed about $1 million apiece.
Right.
They only have, they got $10,000 at their job, right? They got $50,000 at the credit union.
Right.
That's 60. They $960,000 short.
And make sure it's totally okay to have life insurance at work or with your employer. Just make sure that you know how much insurance it is, what kind. Most people think they have insurance at work and it's accidental death and dismemberment, or it's not exactly what they think it is, or you need to make sure that you're the beneficiary. Most people at your job, if I asked you right now, you'll say, I have insurance at work, but you don't have a policy.
Girl, you better teach.
So go to work tomorrow, or if you have coverage at work, and ask your boss or supervisor for a copy of your policy. And I just want you to tell me how that goes for you. And if you have it, that's good, that's fine, but just be sure that's what you have. And even with that being said, I would always advise that you have coverage outside of work, because anything can happen.
Absolutely.
You can lose your job, the company can close down, you could get sick and could not go back to work. You just never know what could happen with the job. So when you have insurance outside of the job, then you're always covered whether you're an employee at that job or not.
Absolutely. And it's only coverage for while you're there.
Right, while you're employed. Again, know the details. Do they just pay if you get hurt on the job? Do you have to die doing the job? A lot of jobs cover you, but they have specific clauses and particulars that you need to know to be able to get the insurance. You have to understand that the idea for most insurance companies is to not pay you. I know I just said that, but that is the absolute truth, because they work for the insurance company. So you have to make sure that there are no loopholes, that there are just too many stories and too much proof to pull up where the job didn't pay, or the policy didn't pay, or the person was stuck out because they didn't think they didn't have what they thought they had.
Man, you're so right. It says it's not the amount of the love letter. Many times a parent will put off purchasing protection because it's daunting to think of $500,000 of protection.
Right.
That's wealth. Who can need that much? Remember, it's not the face amount, it's the monthly income.
Right.
It creates to meet your client's family's obligation that your client created and for which he or she still have responsibility. Your client can purchase $100,000 of protection for pennies a day. Listen, this stuff is here for protection, man.
Absolutely.
It's sad. I'm not leaving no money for my kids and they get rich off of me, or my spouse, they get rich off of me and go get married.
Right,
more.
that's the one that I hear most coming, and you wouldn't think that, but people, if you have that mindset, I'm not going to leave anything because he or she is going to spend it with someone else.
That's crazy.
Because here's what you understand in mind. You would think that your spouse wants to take care of you in death like they did in life. Mm-hmm. So it shouldn't matter who you're with, what you're doing. What you understand is that you need to be able to live, and that you need to be able to pay off their debt and move on with your life.
Well, I've seen Leroy be at the funeral.
Well, if you didn't leave her anything, then she has to bring Leroy to the funeral, because, or vice versa.
Or vice versa. If it's
Belinda,
not there.
whoever. I mean, I just made up a name.
Yeah, Belinda.
My point is, if you love them in life, then you should absolutely put something in place to continue that love and take care of them in
absolutely.
To each its own.
Each its own. Who gets paid off? With auto insurance, the bank gets paid off.
Right.
With homeowners insurance, the mortgage company gets paid off.
Right.
With life insurance, your client's family gets paid off.
Right.
Who does your client want most to get paid off?
Right.
The bank, the mortgage company, or his or her family?
Think about that. It's cell phone. We have insurance on our cell, and all of this is just in case. By the way, you know what? But see, here's the problem with that for me. There's not a just in case we die. We are all for sure to die, unless Christ comes back and the rapture happens first. We are all sure to die. We just don't know when. We it's like we're all standing in one big line waiting on our turn. It says no man knows the time or the hour that they will depart.
Shut up, girl.
So since we don't know, you rather have insurance 10 years too early than one day too late. Because once it's too late, it's too late. And that's what a lot of us do. So no, you don't die, but you become too old. You become too ill to get covered. Once you have a stroke, once you have diabetes, once you have an aneurysm, just things that happen in life, once you get cancer, it's very hard to get covered and get life insurance. Now, all you can do is go get a pre-need and pay for a funeral. So the idea is to get life insurance. Yes, it's just in case, but what you're certain is, I know I'm going to die. I just don't know when. So let me prepare my family for when that time happens.
And that's the real deal, Holyfield. You don't know when. Then it asks the question, most people say, I'm too young. If I die, it would be by accident. Look at here. Death is the distant rumor to the young. The truth is that for 35-year-olds and younger, less than a third die from an accident, heart attack, cancer, aneurysm, etc., or a reality for all ages too. From ages 22 to 25 to 44, unintentional injuries is 26.2% people die from that.
Right.
That's ages 25 through 44.
There are several ways to die.
20.6% is other. We don't know. There's other reasons.
Right.
13.7% is from cancer.
Right.
And 12.3% is from heart disease.
Right.
So those two are the lowest when you look at these four. Unintentional injuries and others are at an all-time high.
Right.
So to think that I'm too young and I don't need it is the wrong mentality, because more people are dying between the ages of 25 and 44 than they are older than age 44. The older people are not dying fast as the younger people are dying.
Right.
And you think you got time, or I'm not going to, if I die, it's going to be,
I think that's all of our problem. We all think we have time. We all think we have time. Absolutely. And we don't. I know we want to think we will be here forever, but the truth of the matter is you just don't know. And when it happens, if your family is not covered, it leaves them in a bad way. And while they're sad about your demise, they are double sad because they have debt, they can't pay for it, and life has changed for them tremendously. So if you love your family, that's why it's a love letter to your family.
Absolutely.
It's the last love letter to your family.
Absolutely.
So if you love your family, you will make sure that they are left okay. That's just the bottom line. That's what this boils down to.
Mm-hmm. This love letter is love filled.
Mm-hmm.
You can have insurance without love, but you cannot have love without insurance. Isn't your client assurance with life insurance really a love-filled promise? Would he or she feel at peace when he or she can look into the eyes of those they love who love them and say, I love you so much that I have provided for you, so that you will financially want for nothing if I'm not here?
Exactly. I mean, a lot of us, when you talk about a spouse and we take vows and till death do us part, rich or poor, sick or, you take all of these conditions. So basically, you vow to take care of him or her no matter what until the end.
Wow.
And even once the end comes, as I stated, if you took care of him or her in life, then it is. And of course, your children. Think about children, how innocent they are in the situation. Children don't ask to be brought here, and most of us are responsible to take care of our children until they're 18. So if you pass away prematurely and there's no money to take care of your family or your children, I've seen it time and time again. Now the children have to be split up. Now it's a matter of who wants the children. Well, who's in the best position to take care of the children? But here's what I know. If your children, and it's going to sound bad, but it's just truth, but if your children came with a check when you passed away, everybody in the family, they can come with me. We can get them, you know why? Because the check would ensure that they could get more room if they needed it. They could buy another car if they needed it to transport them around. If you left them life insurance, they would have what they needed to take care of your children.
Man,
so
that's hot.
Most of us won't get insurance because we're scared who's going to get it. Here's what I know. You'll be gone. There's nothing you can do about it. But don't be so selfish that even when you pass away, you want to leave them with nothing because you're not here to be in control to make sure where the money goes. That's crazy, people. That's just crazy.
Man,
okay?
Man, marriage is, man, that's crazy. You're so
that's just crazy because I know a lot of people that think like that, talk like that. You know, well, no, I won't be here. It's not my problem. I won't. Here's what you know. It will be somebody's problem. And if it's your spouse or your kids.
It's crazy. You created that. You created that family.
And right. And so to leave that burden on them.
I promise. Marriage and its commitments are promises. A promise to protect and provide by any and all means when financial tragedy strikes, right? Can your client be counted on to keep his or her financial promise should his or her spouse die?
Right, even in death.
I promise to take care of you, man.
Right.
I got some coverage.
Right. So does that stop when they die? For most people, they feel like I've shared my life with you. I've given this time. At least I can be taken care of now that you're no longer here anymore.
Wow. Look at this. Read that symbol.
Which one?
A symbol. This is good stuff, man. Oh, that's all. Listen, y'all, if y'all need a quote on extra $100,000 worth of coverage, please hit us on our cell phone. My number is 214-335-6784. Contestant's number is 214-881-0074. Give us a call, man. We'll give you a quick quote on extra $150,000 worth of coverage. If you want to call the radio station, you can call 214-235-0683. We're on 92.9 FM, KGPJ, in the heart of Grand Prairie, Texas, man. Hit us up, man. This is real.
Right.
And this coronavirus is real. It's making things a whole lot different because people are nervous. People are scared. They have projected.
We are in a pandemic, by the way, just in case y'all wasn't aware.
We will write 12 to 15 million policies in the next 12 to 18 months.
Absolutely, we will. Because
of this pandemic. And then you got to understand that, you know, when you get the coronavirus, we don't know what the outcome is going to be.
Right.
So you need to get that as soon as you can. You know, give us a call and put something on. I don't need 150. We'll get something.
Right. Think about that. How many people counted on corona even showing up, let alone dying and passing away from corona?
Mm-hmm.
It's been very tragic. A lot of people have lost a lot of loved ones. A lot of people have gotten very sick. I've seen articles and stories where families have lost more than one family member due to this coronavirus. And here's the thing about the corona. This is why it's scary, because none of us are exempt.
Right.
You can get it, I can get it, and yes, you can die from it.
Absolutely.
So tonight we are talking about the last love letter. You probably can't see that, but that's what we're talking about tonight.
Hit us up, we'll get you a copy of it.
Is basically life insurance. That's what we're talking about. It's the heart of who we are, what we do, and we are just sharing some of the reasons why you should get life insurance and make it your last love letter if you have a family. So it says a symbol. A wedding ring is not just a piece of jewelry. It is a significant symbol of your client's commitment, pledge, and duty as a protector and a provider. Life insurance is also a significant symbol of how your client sees his or her family and worth love, dignity, respect, and in the peace of mind he or she deserves.
My God.
Your client's family deserves protection, don't they? But only you know that. I mean, I would like to believe everybody thought that their family should be protected, but according to the numbers, we know that not to be true. And the reason why
87% of people in Dallas don't have it.
you took it right out of my mouth.
87%.
87%.
Wait a minute. They don't have it. No.
I guess maybe we just both wanted the people to know it was 87%.
Man, this is heartbreaking. 87% of people in Dallas.
That's a lot of people. Because that's a lot of people.
That's 5.1 million.
When you think about what I just read, that the last sentence said your client's family deserves protection, don't they? Well, guess what? 87% of the people in Dallas
don't believe they do.
Don't believe that. Not according to life insurance.
Man.
And I know most of us. I love my mom. I love my kids. I love my wife. I love my husband. Do you have life insurance? That would be a good gauge, a good place to start. And if you don't, it's never too late. That's another thing. If you don't have it, that's why we do what we do. That's why we are here to teach you and educate you, answer any questions that you may have, so we can tell you why you need life insurance. Emotions.
I didn't mean to cut you off when you finish talking. Listen, watch this next one. She finna hit you with. She finna here it come.
It says emotions. Those who don't receive a love letter tend to feel bitter, disappointed, hopeless, sad, fearful, vulnerable, burdened, humiliated, lost, and forsaken.
My God.
Those who did receive a love letter, on the other hand, feel grateful, peaceful, loved, praised, hopeful, protected, and honored. And if you don't believe me, you don't have to take my word for it. Just ask someone who lost someone that didn't have life insurance. Ask them how they feel. Ask them how they felt. We are all sad when we lose a loved one, but ask them what it's like to try to grieve and think of where to start begging, because that's exactly what it is. Who do I ask? Who do I call? Do I do a GoFundMe? Where do I start? Do I go to the church? Do I go to his friends? Do I go to my family? Now the family is arguing. Well, I should pay more. I should pay less. It just creates a problem for those you leave behind. And vice versa, quite the opposite. When you speak to someone who family, who husband or wife left them life insurance, they'll tell you, I'm sad, I miss said person X, but I'm often reminded of him or her being here because I still get life insurance. I'm still able to live my life. I'm still able to go to the places that we once went. I can still travel. I can still do what I need to do. I was able to pay off my life. I was able to move on. I mean, you're able to just be at peace.
Man, we are in the life insurance business.
That's what we do.
And we need people to come.
The crusade is real. It's a real
basis
crusade going on.
Help these families get coverage. They don't know where to go. When they go online on the internet, they just get a system. They don't get a live person.
Right.
We are still live and in color, y'all. Hit me or your girl up. My name's Keenan. My cell phone is 214. Oh, excuse me. 335
Coronavirus.
6784.
Nah, for real.
Or you can hit Contessa up at 214-881-0074. Give us a call, man. Let us give you a quote to put something on you, so this doesn't have to be you, man. I never thought in a million years that I would be in the life insurance business, but it's the most gratifying thing that I've ever done. I've paid death claims and I've helped people sort through this. Even if you're not a client of mine, if you're a member of my church, I go to the funeral home with my members, man, and I'm the sounding board or the voice of reasoning for them, because it's a very emotional time, people. If you haven't experienced it, it's just something that is really indescribable. It's just people are just all over the place. Their minds are all over the place. their emotions all over the place, their hearts all over the place, man. They are just really in a
And when you
tough
don't have
spot,
money,
man.
it just makes it worse. Let's just
And
say what it is.
when I sit there, man, and we go, it goes from, do we get it because we don't have money? Can we just rent the casket? Can we cremate them? Cremation is still $5,500.
It is.
So
It's the cheapest route, but it still costs.
But y'all, it is very heartbreaking to sit at the table with a family and they can't do what they need to do.
Very.
It is very heartbreaking to watch them have some good times and planning the funeral. Then they ask, okay, who's responsible for paying, Contessa? And it gets quiet.
Right.
Then you go back through. No one thinks about the money. That we want this, we want this, we want this. Oh, we want this, we want
Right,
this.
because everyone is in their feelings and emotions, and the last time has to be great, and the last time has to be good, and mama should have had this, and my daddy should have had that. And if you feel this way, these things, all of us, I don't know if you've done it, but I think this is a good exercise. Plan out your last funeral. Like, what would you like to be at your funeral? What kind of casket would you like to be buried in? Do you want a funeral? Do you want to be cremated? Do you want your children there? Do you want everybody to wear a certain color?
Do you want a funeral?
I always go back and forth. I say no, but I mean, it's fine. It's cool. I think funerals are for the family, for the people. I'll be gone. Don't get me started on. Don't make me tell it, because funerals, I mean, it depends on who you are and what you did, but what we will understand for anybody, a funeral is a time, it's the last time. Let's just say that. Doesn't matter who you are and what you want to do. The end, however you decide to do it, that is the grand finale.
And let me tell you,
nothing after that. They can do nothing after that.
And let me tell you how true you are. That's why they want the 3 limos. They want the 4 escorts. They want the horse and carriage with the casket.
Let me educate you, people. Don't put all of your people's money in the ground and in the sky. And a dove release. A dove release is, I can't even remember how much it is, but they open the thing, the birds fly out, and I'm not trying to be funny, it's over in like 10 seconds. Like, at my grandmother's funeral, I don't even remember seeing them. Like, we blinked and the doves were gone.
It's not turned into a production. They walk down with their they dance.
Right.
Coming down, man.
However you do it, it's the last time. And here's the bottom line: it costs. That's our point.
And then,
whatever you do, it costs.
And then get whatever.
Yes.
They make all them plans. Okay, it's gonna be $92.50.
Mm-hmm.
They say, okay, we don't need the limos.
Oh yeah.
We don't need an escort.
I've watched that too.
We want the small flower.
Right.
Can we get a 1-page fold program? And can you give us a discount?
Right.
You want to do it grand,
but you can't
but
pay
you don't
for
have
it.
no money to pay for it.
And let me help you. Your children, we all of us have things. We have cars and Gucci and Prada and bags and all these things that we own. But your children cannot do anything with that unless they can sell it and take it and get some money. It's really of no use to them once you are gone. Things, unless it has a monetary value, there's nothing that they can do with it. It's just stuff. And I don't know about y'all, but I've never seen a hearse or a casket with a U-Haul on the back of it.
Never.
You can't take the stuff with you. So,
never seen it. Look at this right here, y'all. 30 days after the funeral, all money is gone.
Usually. And this says tough love talk, by the way. So we know this conversation we're having is a tough one, but it's necessary to be had. People are dying uncovered every day, and there is absolutely no reason for people to be dying uncovered when the information is out here, the knowledge is present. You can get a life insurance policy. You can afford it. You can protect your family, and you can absolutely change the narrative, leave a legacy, and change our communities.
Wow. The loss of your client's loved one sinks in. It's 30 days after.
30 days in. This is what usually happens.
The well-wishers are gone, And life goes from having a paycheck to no paycheck.
Right.
The reality of financial loss sets in. Dismay is felt if there's no insurance check, or relief is felt if the insurance check is in your client's hand. The words used are either "we're going to be all right" or "how could this have happened?"
Right.
Wow. Life is filled with hopes.
Hopelessness.
Or with hopelessness.
Mm-hmm.
Your client feels his or her financial life
is imploding.
Is just exploding from the inside out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, your client has inner peace, or his or her calm is shattered.
One or the other. Either you have peace,
or you don't.
Or you don't have peace because you have no idea how you're going to pay the bills. You don't know how the kids are going to eat. Now you have to move because you can no longer afford the mortgage. You're hiding the car because you can't pay the car note because your life was based on 2 incomes. And now that income is no longer available because you did not have life insurance coverage to protect your income.
And it says your client's sacred trust has collapsed. They don't have, the family doesn't have it anymore.
Well, you left them uncovered.
Man, they've trusted you their whole life.
Think insurance coverage. When you have an insurance pot, you cover them. You leave them covered. So it's like our song. Shout out to Joy one time, covered. But when you're covered, I'm covered.
Hey.
I'm covered.
Hey.
Oh, anyway. But the point is, when you are covered, you are covered. It means just that. You don't have to worry about anything because they left you good.
Man, your client's stinky moves from how am I going to ever replace him or her to how am I going to replace his or her income.
Mm-hmm.
You see all these things that happen because someone passes away and there's no coverage.
It can send a ripple effect.
It is, Master P, the rapper, created his label. His granddad left him a $10,000 life insurance.
Think about how our homes would change, our communities would change. We are all certain to die. Think about your children and your grandchildren. If when everyone passed away, they had a insurance policy. Now you've created legacy. Now they don't have to go back to work. Now they have money. Now they can save money. Now they can create a trust in the will for their children and their grandchildren. And the legacy continues to go.
That's good.
Legacy.
That's good, man. He took out that policy and built his empire.
Yeah, most of us could do the same thing. It's like, you don't want to say capitalize on death, but again, death is sure to happen, so why would you not?
And wealthy people, they don't capitalize on it, they prepare for it.
Maybe that's a better word, prepare for it.
They take out millions of dollars, they do a calculation, man.
Yeah, a family trust.
It's a trust. Dad lived to be 75, I'm 40. Let me get a 35-year policy.
Right.
I'm going to put $10 million on me because when I die, I want the $10 million to go to the trust. They live off 10% a year. That's $1 million a year, and they never touch the principal.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I got a client right now, an agent right now is helping some people down in Louisiana, and the coverage he's putting on them is blowing their mind. It's no more than $150,000.
Right, because for them, that's a lot of money.
It costs $10,000 or $6,000 to bury him.
Right.
Down there. Land down there is $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take $10,000 to bury him, you leave that family with $90,000. That $20,000, $30,000 property has a home on it, Contessa, where they can remodel it or tear it down and start over.
Right.
So literally, when someone dies in the community, like you said a while ago, it gives life to the community because they have some money.
That's right.
Man, this is great,
because
man.
death is sure to happen.
Listen, hear my heart. We need people to help us get the word out. If you're interested in working with us part-time, give us a call. My cell phone is 214-881-0074.
That was mine.
Contestant number is 214-881-0074. My number is 214-335-6784. It doesn't matter which one of us you call. She's on my team, so I override it anyway. So it doesn't matter. We just want to. We need people that seriously want to make a difference.
We need people talking. We need people helping us do that.
And get this word out to save our friends and loved ones. Because friends don't let their friends not
die without life insurance coverage. And if you know somebody, know somebody that need life insurance, tell them to hit us up, get a free quote, find out. It don't even have to be with us. That's how serious this is. It's not just about I can cover you, but whoever you trust, whatever insurance agency you trust, just get covered. If you love your family and your children, write them a last love letter by covering them with life insurance. It's that simple.
And on that note, we're going to play our song Covered, and we're going to buy gracefully, and we're going to call it
Get some life insurance, y'all. Get covered.
Hit us up.
Join our team today.
Hit us up.
Come help us save these people.
Hit us up.
All right, y'all. See y'all next Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Get some life insurance. Hit like, hit share.
Jesus Christ, my Savior, one up for the Lord. Wake up in your praise and thank you to my God. About to get some blessings, favor from above. Because my life ain't covered by the blood. Jesus Christ, my Savior, one up for the Lord. Wake up in your praise and thank you to my God. About to get some blessings, favor from above. Because my life ain't covered by the blood. Jesus Christ is my blessing, he came in to give me his blood. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, I tell you I'm covered, I'm good. I know that he loving me, he be all over me, working around me, and it's understood. The fact that he cursed with me, he's always there for me, I feel like I know that I'm loved. That's my G.O.D. and yeah, he hold it down. You wanna talk about kings, well mine will take the crown. Yeah, my God, my Lord, the baddest in the town. And where he at, I wanna be around. Jesus Christ, my Savior, one up for the Lord. Wake up and go praise him, thank you to my God. About to get some blessings, favor from above. Because my life is covered by the blood. Jesus Christ, my Savior, one up for the Lord. Wake up and go praise him, thank you to my God. About to get some blessings, favor from above. Because my life been covered by the blood. Come back, stay forward flat, and I run it back for the kingdom. Might get thick, but I've been fit. I take the hit while praising him. Thank God that he sent me his spirit to keep me to God and to lift me on up. He keeping his promises, now I realize it's been him that's been filling my cup. Get up and go praise him, didn't he get you up? How could you just sit there, get up out that rug? Get that breakthrough, get them blessings, pay your tithes and take them lessons. Ask for wisdom, this takes patience, do your part, that's how you say again.